everyone, and welcome back to Break Time Conversations, a YouTube channel where I have conversations around the topic of education. I have been a teacher all my life, and along my journey, I have met and I continue to meet so many interesting people doing interesting things in the field of education. And so I thought it would be great for me to document my conversations with them here so that you too can hear all that they have to share. Today, I am here with Priyanka Modi. She's somebody I came across on LinkedIn. She's an alternate learning consultant. She's a coach. She advocates interest based learning and purposeful living. She's also the founder of Education Next, which started as an idea to share the learnings that she gathered about alternate learning, digital learning, and conscious parenting. Priyanka, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anupa.
Priyanka, why don't you start by telling us a little bit of your journey about how you got to where you are today?
So I'll try to keep it short and cute. So my journey started just right with when I conceived my son. That's almost 9 years ago. Just like any usual mother would go to the internet, because thankfully we had internet more than our mothers right next to us. So understanding about how to raise a child and things like that, and then the usual journey to how to educate kids, right? And I was in Chennai at the time. Chennai is famous for all these schools and all this, interest. My interest grew in understanding what is IGCSE and CBSE and where the child should go about Montessori and things like that. I just went down the rabbit hole to understand it too much. And so I just got him into a preschool nearby, and I saw what was happening, and I was quite shocked with things happening there, with children given letters. The day he enters, they had already reached the letter M. And I always tell the story to everyone. So when the first day he gets back with a worksheet and he had to write the letter M, I was like, what? He's already crying. He can't even sit. And, and then I had already paid the entire amount, but then I came to I found another school. Parents were talking about it, raving about it, that, it's about independent learning and things. And my journey to exploration about learning started there. I joined there as well, though my background was not in education, but I wanted to go deep and understand it. I had no training in education, but when I got to the school, they gave me different trainings to understand special education and teaching and other things. And my son was going there. I worked there. I associated myself with program coordination and stuff, and Adi started learning there. But I was always schooling him at home anyways. I believed in the idea of reading a lot, so we would come back and read, and he was doing a lot of things at home. The journey kept growing, and we went to a different school, both of us. So I was given a better position, and Adi was in grade 1. Again, it was a inclusive school. Everything was going well. Normal, complaints from teachers about Adi being naughty and finishing his things very fast, and disturbing his other friends. So things were there in my mind all the time about what is it about school, and why are we forcing children to sit in a place for too long? And what they were teaching, I always felt, was it enough for children? So somewhere I always had this mindset that my kid needs more. And I thought that I was limiting him, because when he would come back and we would read or research together or do things at home, I realized that we were doing a lot more than what school was doing anyways. So then COVID struck, thankfully, and we got to explore more of this that we always wanted to do. And things happened around at that time when I had to move to my hometown, and I went around looking for any learning atmosphere where Adi could learn, but I couldn't find anything. But guess what? We were doing a lot at home anyways. So in those months, he was crazily exploring the digital space. He was learning, he was coding, and he was doing it very fast. And I got to meet a lot of people who were world schooling, homeschooling, and that helped me understand more about alternate learning. And so here I am. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. I love how as parents you really learn so much, right? I mean, I have three children today, and with every child, you won't believe I learned something different, something new. Like there's this just seems to be so much to learn. So Priyanka, you kept mentioning alternate learning, and that's also a term that's going around a lot these days. So how would define, or what according to you is alternate learning?
See, we've always believed that there is a set pathway for schooling. You have this K2 curriculum, CBSE, IGCSE, ICSE, whatever. And then you get to, after your 12th, you write your exams, you go to college. And so when I feel that there is a different path than this traditional set path, I call it alternate learning. And with my research in different people who have referred to alternate learning, this is what I have tried to precisely thought about. This is what alternate learning is: when you leave the traditional path but try to explore other pathways which might not be the typical grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the same age kids being in the same class, and you are graded with the standard set of assessments. So when you leave that path and try to find alternate ways to learn, it's people always confuse unschooling with not learning, but I feel that it's just an alternate pathway, so I better use alternate learning instead of unschooling. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So are you unschooling your son?
Yeah. So like I said, he is into alternate ways of learning. So he learns when there are sessions available that he likes, right, online, or he can learn from me. For example, if he wanted to explore this summer how to make ice cream, so that's a new thing that he wants to explore this summer, so he's been doing that.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Or if there is, I talk to a lot of people who are doing this. So there are different groups or communities online. So he learns from those people, and he gets opportunities to meet a lot of people this way. So he learns in with different people, not only horizontally but across the vertical age group as well. He gets to talk to older people, younger people, and that has been that has made him as a very diverse learner, I would say. Yeah.
Wow, nice. So obviously he's not going to school.
No.
Okay, great. Very
Hmm.
nice. So tell me something about Education Next. So what is
Yeah.
it Education Next does?
So Education Next is a website, right? And it came with the idea of promoting the idea of alternate learning, everything that I said. And it is divided into categories where I talk about skills that kids would need, or children, or youth will need for the future. Digital learning, what is digital learning and how can you? And most of the digital learning is free on the internet. And about alternative learning, like what's unschooling, homeschooling, world schooling, road schooling, what are these things, right? So I cover those topics there. And about conscious parenting, I feel that when you become conscious of yourself, and who are you, why are you, what are you trying to do, am I just chasing something, is there a purpose in my living? So I think I spend a lot of time thinking about these things, and the more people I meet, I get to understand, they let me understand more about our journey and about ourselves. So I have included conscious parenting as well, because unless you are conscious, you will not be able to explore anything or that aligns more with your purpose, or that you would do for yourself and for your child, not just because others are doing. Yeah. And then I started a newsletter maybe 8, 9 months ago. So it reaches out to parents, educators, people who follow this and want to. I give examples of people who have, taken an alternate path. Maybe it's Leonardo da Vinci, or if it is, Edison, or any. There are lots of people who took an alternate pathway, and they decided, or life showed them that you can do it by yourself. So I talk a lot about self learners in my newsletter. I give examples of how to create a purposeful living with your kids, how to be, more conscious of what you're doing. So this goes in my Sunday newsletters. Yeah.
That's lovely. It sounds really lovely, and I can see that you're so committed and dedicated to this and really enjoying what you do. That's so wonderful. So I'm sure you've had family members who don't agree with what you're doing. Have you? And how have you handled?
They everybody thinks I'm almost crazy. And yesterday, we are doing this Twitter space these days, and when people ask me how did you get the courage, and I always tell them people consider me crazy, and it's fine because only crazy people do weird things, and so and we are in a very small town right now, and so people won't understand that what we are doing. They think that I've come here for a holiday and doing some crazy stuff. And that's because, when I talk to you and or many other people, from not from India, or people think, what am I doing with this box of laptop? Who am I reaching out to? And what am I doing? And it's very difficult for people to understand. So people believe that I'm working online because thanks to COVID, that people think that there's a possibility to work online and there's a possibility to learn online because people saw that. And thankfully, that explains people that, okay, maybe these guys are learning on. They are still online. That's what people think about us.
Yeah, I know because I have some friends who they unschooled their kids, and I know that, there were many people who just didn't agree with what they were doing and they wondered why. So, yeah, so of course I'm from a school setting. So, but I totally agree with what you're doing. I believe that it's what you have to do what works for you, right? I mean, like,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. I love that line that you said. You have to do what works for you.
yeah.
And actually, when people say, should I do this? Should I do that? I always say that, you have to figure out what works for you. My situation from you might be very, very different. And why I have chosen this path is very different. Maybe if I had something else in my life, I would not have come to this, so each life is so different from other. But if you are in a quest to understand, then maybe you can explore this, right?
Yes, totally. I love that. And I think that's a great note for us to end on because, about us following our own paths and doing what works best for us. So, Priyanka, before we end, thank you so much. It has been so enlightening. And is there a message that you can give other parents like you who are trying to follow this alternate path?
Yeah, I would just say that, before we dive into anything, it's very important to watch your kids and what direction they want to take. We are, brought up with the system of deciding for kids everything because we felt that this system is there and that will be the best thing. We have the habit of finding the best school in the town. And I always say that it's not about the best school in the town because the school will always, talk about the toppers who have reached here and there and that, and you chase that there, somebody's journey. But, it's very important to find who we are, what I can do, and especially watch kids where they want to go. Right. And once you know that, you are set. You will be, that person maybe talking like me, like I am living, dreaming, and diving into this. And you will become that person when you just watch your child's journey.
Oh, thank you so much, Priyanka. And I hope you never lose that passion. I can see it, I can feel it. And I hope that whoever you speak to, you can spread that passion to them because I'm sure it is contagious.
Thank you, Anupa. Thank you for having me.
And
I
all
have
the
read
best.
I have
Sorry.
read your LinkedIn post and all, and I used to, it used to come on my feed, and I always was curious about what are you up to, and I'm sure this is the reason you're able to build a community.
Oh,
Being able to listen is very important, and connecting with people is
yes.
again very important. Yeah,
Yeah, again, this is a path that I found and I'm enjoying it. So, yes, thank you so
lovely to
much.
meet you. Thank you
Lovely
so
to meet
much.
you too. And bye for now.
Bye bye.